Okay, we're short here at again 4,400 half, and this is a pretty big dramatic move, so I'm going to run some Fibonacci retraces on here. Here they are, right from this level up. Take them up, and then we're going to fan the chart out. It's going to be a lot of lines in there temporarily, but they'll give us a good roadmap of the potential of where we can go. There we go. So the first minor Fibonacci retrace is exactly 96 quarter. It's right here at this orange line in the sand, which we need to see prices hold under that and basically turn this into a white line. This is part of boomerang. This will give us more bearish reading if this turns white and the prices hold in general under 96.50. And in 96 is the first minor fib retrace. They should be able to bust that and go down to the 50% retrace, which is at 94. And then the full Fibonacci retrace is here at 91.75. So watching for a move down to 94 and then 91.70, and the full extension would be down here at 89 of a let's see here, 89, and then 84 is that last low. So on the there's a trade right down to the fib number, and we're going to watch for 89 will be our new target here. So let's see if we can get them down to 89 here. Watch for a little further breakdown under this 92 is that fib retrace number. Let's see if we can break 92 down and potentially get 89 going here. See, that's the problem with artificial ramping up the market. It just creates crashes. It creates like little mini crashes, which is fine if you're on the right side of it, but it just seems unnecessary if they would let the market trade in the natural flow of buyers and sellers. You can't have the Dow down 100 and the transportation index and the Nas, ramping up higher. It looks really dumb for the riggers. Makes them look like more like riggers than they are, right? Who cares? Whatever. It's modern day. This is the modern day market. We're in here trading it, and that's what we do, and this is who we are. So let them do whatever. At least we know what we got their name. We got their name on the roll call list, and we identify them each day and try to see how active they are and work around it. All right, so let's see if we can break them down back under 92 would be a good sign. Probably that 90 handle might again catch some support. Let's see if they can break them down. Glad we ran these fibs here. We got them broken down under 92, and if we can break them down under 92, we should be able to roll them back to 89 to 90. And we'll just use that as our target. That's above the blue line here today. I didn't run the opening range. Let me quickly check and see where that is. Well, for our purposes, it's right approximately slightly above this blue line. Well, it's pretty important that we have those on there. Let's find out real quick where the high of the opening range is. Okay. There's the high of the opening range. It's very tight opening range. And the low. And our exit's right in the center of the opening range. Glad we ran these too. Man, oh man. Starting to break them down further. Okay, so what I've got here, starting to break down, well, they tried to break down 92 again. I think it's going to blow. Here's the top, the opening range. I did a quick estimate here. That's good enough. And actually right where our exit plan is, and it's right on that furthest Fibonacci retrace, looks to be right in the center of the opening range and right above this last blue line line in the sand here. So it looks to me that 89 should be a pretty darn good choice if they can break them down further under 92 and get this thing selling off a little bit stronger here. There's a good chance they could take them down into the opening range at 91, trading under 92, blasting them down towards the 90 handle. Maybe they get a little heavier here. If the NAS can now flow or lead the Dow and the transports lower, then we could have a more coordinated sell-off type deal. I just don't know how willing they are to allow that today, the riggers. So with that in mind, we're going to watch 91 to 92. If that breaks, then we got to watch 89 to 90. We'll leave the 89 in case 92 breaks harder than expected. And then we'll look for a swoosh down, breaking under 92 and 91. We'll look for a swoosh down to 90 and possibly hitting that 89. Okay, now I got the map figured out pretty good here, I think. So watching now for the key numbers, this breakdown into the opening range at 91.25. Breaking 91.25. There may be a little bit of a selling pile-on under 91.25 to smash it into the opening range. $91.25 is now a key number to dip them back into the opening range, with the center of the opening range around 89, and then we're going to watch 90 very carefully here. So let's see if we can get a little pile on the selling, dipping them back under 91 into the opening range, and then watching carefully for 89 to 90 as a possible area where the selling piles on. If we get hit under 91, we get a little selling pile on, just enough to drive it down to that level. You can see they're just hovering around 92. It looks like they're going to break it. The force is there. Let's see if they can smash this thing down a little bit lower. It's a little hard to say what they're going to do here. We may have to get out, but I think they're going to smash them down under 91. And if so, we could get a little bit of a, or maybe a lot of a selling pile on here, taking them down to our target. Okay, let's watch for it here. Let's see if we can break them. Breaking 91, running 89 to 90. Still got to give it a little time to see if they want to break that down. That's all we can do. 91's the top of the opening range. They may defend that, but if they can just get what I expect could be a little bit stronger selling pile on here, they could take that 91 out and knock them right down to 89 to 90, where we're going to cover up the short here. There we go. Here we go. See if we can get a little selling pile on and get them down there to 90 for us. They're kind of dibble-dabbling at the price, so I'm willing to clip them early if we have to. Okay, they're defending the top of the opening range here a little bit. Let's give them another chance to break it down. See if they can crush them under 91 into the 90 to 89 zone. And that's where we're going to cover them up. Okay, stay ready here. Okay, go ahead and cover them up right there at the market. Cover them up right there. Boom, 89 right at our price. That's what we wanted. Right when I said to cover, they slammed them down to 89. So we got out at 89 there. 43.89. So that was plus 11 points. Let's see. Yeah, plus 1150 for a swing trade there. Okay, we're looking for a long trade. As the market got smashed out here, we're watching for a potential long trade. They're dipping down under the center of the opening range towards this key blue line in the sand and the bottom of the opening range here at 86.50. We're just watching to see if they can give me some signs here. Okay, let's take a little risk here and go long at the market right here, going long at 43.90, and let's see if the market can kind of hold up here and spring back 3 to 5 handles up to 95 here. We're long at 90, and we're looking for market to jump 3 to 5 handles. I'm going to be targeting, actually let's just go 93 as our target, and if they jump 5 then good for them. But we'll just target 3 points on this move here. Let's see if I'm right. Let's see if this is a bottoming area here. They can generally hold up 88 and we can spring back to 93. Stay ready to jump out. It's always a little higher risk trade when you're trying to pick off a top or a bottom here. Let's see if they can generally kind of hold up here and give us a lift higher here. I may be a little early on the deal, but certain other signs I got coming in are telling me they're at least going to try to bounce them up towards 93 here. So let's see if we can get that action going and see what the result is here. Stay ready to jump out anytime. I'm hoping that they are bottoming out here and we should be able to get a spring back to at least 93, just a 3-point trade on a bounce back here. Just watching to see if they can stabilize here. We get a little of that reversal juice kicking in, and they'll hopefully bounce them back up to that 93 target for us. I may be a little early, but I'm looking at all the signs and it's suggesting that they can do that. So let's see if we can get them going here. Get a little bounce going. Otherwise, we'll just jump out again. No big deal. And take another look. For right now, though, let's see if we can get 90 bouncing up there, ramping them back up to 93. Whether they do it quickly or a slow grind higher doesn't matter to us. We just want that 93 action. Or to look for an exit if they can't hold up 88 here. Ah, they're still pounding them lower here. What the heck's going on? Still pounding them lower. Let's see if try again for a rebound here. Let's see if 88 can tend to hold them up. Ah, they're still getting a little bit heavied out here. Okay, let's go ahead and exit at the market here. Exit at the market. Doggone it. Got away from us there. They're still working the downside. Okay, I got the exit there at 85.75. We got long at 90 and 85.75 minus 4.25. I wanted to give 8 a chance to hold up, but I guess they're going to now let NASDAQ blast its way lower. So minus 10.25 total. And we're just watching for the next setup there. Maybe try to reconfigure the low again. Okay, what we just did was we got long at 78.50 and covered the or exited the long at 82 and got short at 82. So now I'm looking for the market to flop back under 80 again and then go down and work that 77 area. But we got to stay ready to jump out in case they get it going a little too strong on this reversal. We need 82, 83 maybe to kind of lose ground and flop back lower, back down to 80 fairly quickly here, back down to 80. If we get that flop back that I'm expecting, then there's a good chance that a move back under 80 is going to possibly roll back down, try to stretch back down to that low at 86, but not quite make it. That's why we're targeting 87. So it's a wild plan. It's a valid plan based on this type of pattern I've seen in the past and the setups I'm seeing in the market. Let's see if it can work in our favor here. So we're short at 82 and we're watching for a move now back under 80. That's going to be the key thing. Get that price back under 80 without too much of a spring back here above 83, and then roll them back under 80 and even possibly knock them all the way back to 77. I wish the flop back to 80 would be a little smoother. It's not. Actually, there's pushing them a little bit more than I would like to see here. Really would like to see them hit them back under 81 a little bit quicker. Instead, they're kind of pushing them up to 3 here. Let's give it a second and see if we get that flop back to 81 or lower. If so, that'll really help our case for the possibility of a dip back down under 80 to go down and retest. So the problem is the market is okay. This wasn't supposed to be happening here. We're looking for a lower flop back. Let's stay ready to jump out here. The riggers are back in, kind of jamming it a little further than expected. Let's give it a minute here. Give it a minute. Let's see if we can get them back under 83 and then ideally back under 81. Maybe they just had to extend it a little bit and see if the bears can come clawing back in and tear them back down to the 80 handle. And then now instead, if that happens, it's a big if, and they tear them back down to the 80 handle, we'll watch for just a minor dip towards 79. In fact, you can move the limit now to 79. Because of that little pop higher here, the plan is just slightly changed to the upside. We're just looking for a flop back to 81 or lower, and then ideally breaking 80 and then a slight dip down to that 79. They really should be willing to back off here, but they're not. So let's stay ready to jump out here. Still looking for that 81 flop back in the price as a confirmation that they can dip them down to just under 80. Let's see if they can fail this 82 area, knock them back to 81, and see what happens from there. Normally there's going to be another selling attempt before they just reverse and start going back up again. So let's see if we can take them back down under 81. Let the sellers get a little more of their due here on a dip back to 80, hopefully. And then possible dip under 80 to run 79. Then I'll update all the numbers right after that on the next trade, on the previous trade and everything. Still wish they'd be a little more willing to flop back to 81. Let's give it a little more time here and see if that's going to be in the cards, or we're going to have to get out of this trade. Usually when they don't just follow the script, I like to be willing to get right out, because normally this market should be willing to drop back fairly quickly back to 81 or lower, and it's not doing it. So, and that's again due to the excessive amount of puts out in the market. I think that's why the riggers were taking advantage of jamming them up so high earlier. Want to be patient with this. I think they can retest that at least 80, but they're not doing it. They're not even giving us that 81 test. So just stay ready to jump out. Maybe they got to try to push them back up here. Again, a little surprised they're not giving us that 81 flop back here. Just trying to give it a couple more minutes. What is very much the norm of a hard sell-off like this, where you get that, look at that. They're just not doing it. Just trying to push higher instead of flopping back. Doggone it. Come on. Just not doing it, gang. It's just this continued excessive bullishness here, even on this strong downside pullback. They're not letting the market flop back, which it normally does, and tries to work the sell side a little more again. Maybe they had to extend them a little bit. Let's try again. See if they can get them going back under 82 and possibly work in the 80 handle. Let's give it a chance to see if they can drop back to 82 or lower and then possibly work that 80 handle and not keep pushing the highs here, this 85 area. Vast majority of the time when you see a setup like this, they're going to go back and try to test that low again, or at least test down in that area. Dow down 99. So, the Dow and all that stuff's not really continuing lower. They're not really getting pounded. And that's because there's too many puts out there. But let's see if they can just the sellers can come in and try to work that 80 area again. We'll cover up the short if we have to anytime. Let's just give it a chance, see if they can knock them back under 82 now. Try to work them lower. It's not a lot of fluidity on the retest of that lower area, which is very surprising. I suppose not, just compared to other markets you've seen. In other words, natural markets, not bullishly rigged markets. But let's give it a chance. Dipping back down to 90, 82 or lower, and then possibly making a quick slide down to 80 again, possible, under 82, and maybe, just maybe, a dip down to 79. But we will be watching to see the reaction, that scenario I just described, and see if we can get that kind of a semi-retest of the lower move there again. Nope, they're still hanging them up here and kind of trying to jam the highs again. No dip back. Bulls are still playing their game here. Still playing their game. Let's try one more time. Give it a second chance here to possibly lose ground a little bit more than they did. I don't know. Starting to look like they're more inclined to do a reversal. Very rare to see what we're seeing right now. Usually that rebound, and then they're right back on trying to test that current low, which was back at 76. We're just giving them a chance to see if they can go back and retest 82 and knock 82 out and possibly make a little slide down to 80 area. Maybe for us to cover our short at 82. Would love to see it. Would love to see him break under 82 and roll back to, 81, 80, 80 half would be great. Anything like that. Just a test lower. There, it's coming in a little bit here. So stay ready for a possible seller pile on here to come back in and knock them under 80 and dip down under 80 where we're going to look to cover them. I got that 79 limit in there in case they hit them with selling all of a sudden here. But let's see if they can do it. Let's see if they can smash them down under 81. Try to dip them back to the 80 handle and stay ready. Get your finger on the trigger. We're going to be getting out any time there, but I think they might go back to 80 and dip them down to 79. So I'm trying to hold for that. It was a big sell-off, that there should still be that some level of concern that happened and that they dip them back down. But these goofy bulls, man, they are still push this thing a little more than normally what would happen. Still looks to me like they're going to crunch them back down to 79. Believe it or not, that's what I'm seeing here. Man, it's difficult. So they dipped them down to 81, that exact number I gave us, and they couldn't work it any further. But I'm still getting signals for a possible crunch here on the downside again, taking them back to 81, and maybe they just go back to 81 again and give it another punch on the downside, and we'll get out somewhere down there if it happens for us. Let's try for it. I think it can happen for us. Let's see if we can get them going back on the downside here. Hopes that clears the chart up a little. We're right in this key zone here. This blue line right here, they traded under that, popped them back up. So I'm still watching for a dip down to ideally 81 or lower, and then they go down and try to hit 80 again and possibly give us that 79 on a crunch coming right in here. But I'm watching very carefully because they're not acting like they normally do on a rebound like this. Here we go. Let's see if we can get them. See if we can smash them under 81 and get what I call a crunch down under 80 towards that 79 area. Let's hold for it here. Let's see if we get that crunch going. Under 80 to hit 79. See, the riggers are still coming in here, even in the midst of this very bearish appearance here. They're still coming in with their little prop-up games. Very rare to see the riggers work in the bottoms. They're always jamming the highs, but they rarely work the lower moves on the bottom here. Okay, one more chance. We're going to give it a couple more minutes to see if they can crunch this thing on the downside. Otherwise, we're going to get out. and hopefully they're not going to try to ramp them up before that. Everything's on the side of the market making another test at 80, and they just tried to do it. They got them down to 81 again, and there's still little prop up games coming in by the riggers. So it's kind of a hard call here. We're short at 82, and we'll watch to see if they can bust them out again on the downside. Normally this would have happened 10 minutes ago where you got that rebound off the lows. They dip back down there and test them around 82 to 83, maybe 350. And then they get crunched back down lower towards the dynamic trend band number 1. But they're not doing it. And it's probably because, like I said, there's too many puts in the market now. And those puts probably increased with this Dow down 105. You're going to have the bears getting a little bit hyper here, but I think it's going to be supportive for the market, at least temporarily. Let's see if we can crunch them one more time, give the crunch one more chance to break down under 81 and knock this thing down to 80 or lower. And then we're just going to cover them up because it's too risky here. The way they're acting, yeah, they can go down to 79. Maybe they're going to go down and test the lows at 76, but it's just it's a higher risk deal here. Let's see if we can get them going here. Hold short, looking for a crunch back under 80 to hit 79. Why they're even hanging up here at all, I don't even know. Here we go. Go ahead and cover them up at the market right there. Cover at the market. 80 quarter. Out of the 80 quarter. So 82 short, 80 quarter for plus 175. The previous trade, 78.50, we entered that long there and got out on that reversal at 82. So that trade gave us plus 350. Okay, great job, you guys. I know it was tough, a little bit tricky on that move, but we got them there. So now we're just watching the market, let it consolidate here and see what happens.